Shalom, shalom. This is a new Yes from Israel, Hebrew on the Island 2. And this is my second video today. Today is June 14th, 2020. And I just uploaded my other video like maybe 30 minutes ago. Why Israelites stay in a state of defilement. And when I was going live, one of my great subscribers who loves the Most High, he was sending me some text messages and stuff like that. And it inspired me to make this video that I'm doing right now, that I made just now. And I want to share it with you. And in that video that I just told you that I just made, why Israelites stay in a state of defilement, at the end of that video, I discussed that a new subscriber sent me a link. They sent me a comment, and then they sent me a link, and they're showing me, I guess, trying to show me that, look, there's other Torah Tanakh-based Israelites, and check them out or whatever. So I usually do. I don't be like, I only just listen to myself or whatever. Hey, let me see if they're good. If they're good, I encourage them. So I went on that link that they sent me, and I'm not gonna say the name because I don't like. Excuse me. I don't like talking about other people and put other people out there like that. Like to try to put a dagger in them. Nah, I'm not that type of guy. About the Hebrew Messianics, yeah, I'll say something about them. But these are they're basically on. They think Esau is a white man. And that theory is, well, if he's not Esau, he's not going to be destroyed enough. No, if you knew the scripture, Obadiah 1 says, Moses said, the day is near to all the heathens. For what you have done, it will be done to you. Your reward shall return on your own head. Isaiah 59 says, you will be rewarded according to your deeds. So these guys, they're not going to escape. So the thing is, the heathens, these Torah and Tanakh-based Israelites, they too have a soft heart for the heathens of all races. So don't be sensitive. I'm talking about everybody, or you don't know who I'm talking about. And they have a soft spot for them. But they're not using scripture to validate that. They're not using scripture to validate that. So one of my subscribers that come on all the time, he said, he brought up a scripture, which I love, and I didn't put in that other video. So what I said, I'm gonna make a specific video for this specific verse with what I was talking about. So I'm making an additional video, and this is why I'm making this video. The heathens are all about injustice. Don't feel sorry for them. Because a lot of our brothers, a lot of people send me links and say, oh, this Torah Israelite, whatever. And then, the thing is, you got to watch their whole video. Then you got to watch a whole bunch of their other videos to get a full, comprehensive analysis of really what do they think, how do they feel, where's their mindset at, and so forth. So they had a 3-hour and something video, and I basically watched the whole 3 hours. In the beginning, first hour and a half, 2 hours, I'm like, yeah, these guys are good. And they basically are. See, so I'm not hating. But, they think Esau is somebody else, the Caucasian. They think Esau is the Caucasian. And then they have heathens right on their panel. I seen him. And then he had a picture of himself on there, and then he took it off. But I know that's a heathen talking. So I'm like, oh boy. And then I heard them at the end. So you have to listen all the way to the end so you can know where they're coming from or their other videos. And then they say, oh, we don't oppress the stranger. I'm like, did you read Isaiah 14? We're going to take them captives who captives they were. We're going to rule over our oppressor. Isaiah 40 tells you how the Most High views the stranger. Views our enemy, views the heathens. But you guys constantly want to put them in. So when I saw Ecclesiastes 7:13, Ecclesiastes 7:13 out of the Tanakh, who Torah and Tanakh-based Israelites love. It says, considers, in the King James Version, it'll say a little bit different, but, I read from the Tanakh, Ecclesiastes 7:13. Consider God's doing. Israelite, consider God's doing. The things that he does, consider it. Think about it. Factor it in. Don't use your own. In Proverbs 3:15, it says, trust in the Most High with all your heart and lean not onto your own understanding. And that's what a lot of you definitely Negro Christians are doing, Messianic Israelites are doing, and some or a lot of you Torah Tanakh-based Israelites. You still are bewitched by Christianity. You're still drinking the Jim Jones Christian New Testament devil drink, making your eyes get blinded by the witchery, the witchcraft, the wizardry of the New Testament, their fake Jesus, Black Yahushua, and their New Testament, their new way. If you listen to Jeremiah when he said in Jeremiah 6:16, as for the old path, which is the good way, and walk therein, you wouldn't be tricked, deceived by their sorcery, their witchcraft of the New Testament, and their narrative and directive they want you to go into, fall into, embrace. But the heathens are not that bad. We can include them. We can teach them. They can teach with us. They're having our problem. No, they're not. You don't know the scriptures. And you Torah and Tanakh-based Israelites should be ashamed of yourself. Okay. Ecclesiastes 7, verse 13. Consider God's doing. Consider the Most High's doing. Who can straighten what he has twisted? So stop trying, Negro Christian, Messianic Hebrew, even you Torah Tanakh-based Israelites, to make a twisted, crooked vessel straight or label it good when the scripture says otherwise. Proverbs 17, Proverbs 22, don't call what's good evil and what's evil good. And that's in Isaiah 5:20 as well. Don't say what is good and say that good thing is evil, and don't say that evil thing is good. And that's what you're doing. You're trying to untwist how the Most High views them, and then say, oh, no, I'm not going to oppress the stranger, and I'm not going to, and they can join us. And you guys are still in Christianity. Even though you may know who you are, you may know a little bit who you are, but, you still don't got the whole memo. As to have a mindset similar to King David, Caleb, Joshua, Moses, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, and all the minor prophets. And you would then recall to your mind what the scriptures actually says. Ecclesiastes, the wisest man ever lived. Consider God's doing. Who can straighten what he has twisted? And you Negroes want to untwist the heathens. Now let's go to the scriptures. Scriptures only from Genesis to Malachi. It's not a fake new way, New Testament. No. In Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4, it says, lo, his spirit within him is puffed up, and it's not upright. His spirit is not upright. They're talking about the heathens. We're going to find out because I'm going to read the whole Habakkuk chapter 2 to you right now. A lot of you people say, oh, he just read a chapter in his brand new video right now. Is he going to read another? Guys, you must have a love for the Most. That's the only way you know the Most High, if you read his word. The only way you can get closer to the Most High, if you're in his word. This is why here at Hebron Island 2, I like to take you to the scriptures. I like to read it all to you. Because at the Christian church, you ain't getting that. You're getting lies and demonic and witchery. sorcery. You just want to read one verse. No, we're going to read the whole context of Habakkuk 2. I'm focusing on Habakkuk 2, chapter 2, verse 4. Lo, his spirit within him, the heathens. And a lot of the two-thirds Israelite. His spirit within him is puffed up, is not upright in him. It's talking about heathens. Spirit is not made upright in him, because those are the ones that increase in wealth with the things that are not theirs. They steal everything on earth. And it says, woe to those that build a town by blood and a city with iniquity. That's how the whole earth in America is made. Killing everybody to get lands, displacing them, stealing their identities, etc., stealing the money, the wealth, everything. Lo, his spirit within him is puffed up. You know, the heathen spirit is puffed up and not upright. They're twisted. Stop trying to untwist the heathen, okay? They are bad. They're super predators. They're a gang. They're a mob. They're rioters. They are the ones. Habakkuk is going to explain it to you. So stop trying to add them. Ezekiel says, don't bring the stranger into the sanctuary who is uncircumcised in heart and in flesh to defile it. Guys, continue. It's 2020. You're still trying to add the heathens in. They're sitting up on these Torah Tanakh-based Israelites video as like authority with the Israelites, which are only the Negroes that have been scattered to the four corners of this flat earth, who only suffer the curse of Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus 26. You got them right next to them, teaching other Israelites, putting their 2 cents in where their location should be: the barn, floor with bread and water, working 20 hours a day, being ruled with a rod of iron by the Israelites and dashed like the potter's vessel, not joining hand in hand. You guys still haven't gotten the memo. It's 2020. Let's read Habakkuk chapter 2. I will stand on my watch, take up my station at the post, and wait to see what he will say to me, what he will reply to my complaint. The Lord answered me and said, write the prophecy down, inscribe it clearly on tablets so that it can be read easily. For there is yet a prophecy for a set time. And that's what you're seeing right now in all this mayhem, end time stuff that's coming up. For there is yet a prophecy for a set term, a truthful witness for a time that will come. Even if it tarries, wait for it still, for it will surely come without delay. Lo, his spirit within him is puffed up, not upright, but the righteous man is rewarded with life for his fidelity. How much less then shall the defiant go unpunished? Who's the defiant? All right, we know the 2/3 stiff-necked Negroes are, but who's the defiant that has gone unpunished? Because the Israelites, 2/3 are being punished. They're being shot in the streets. Who's going unpunished right now, Israelite? The heathens. And you know the apex heathens. I won't mention the name because they're very case sensitive. But you know who they are. They're going unpunished. Not for long, though, because the end is coming. How much less then shall the defiant go unpunished? The treacherous, arrogant man. Who's the treacherous and arrogant man? Be truthful, Israelite. Be truth, nigga. Stop. Get out of your what is that, Stockholm syndrome. Loving the enemy. Wanting to help him rob banks and act like the upright man. He's not. The treacherous and arrogant man, who has made his moor and wide as Sheol, who is insatiable as death. Who's insatiable as death? The apex heathens. You know who they are. Who has harvested all the nations. Who has harvested all the nations of their wealth of all types. You know who it is. Stop putting them in your ranks. They belong in the barn. They are the perpetual slaves running amok right now. And gathered in all the peoples. Surely all these shall pronounce a satire against him, a pointed epigram concerning him. They shall say, ah, you who pile up what is not yours. who is piling up for centuries what is not theirs, the apex heathen. Stop adding them in. They're not in the congregation. You can keep dreaming Christian Negro and Messianic Hebrews and some of you Torah Tanakh Israelites, adding the heathens in. They're not included. You who pile up what is not yours, how much longer, and make even heavier your load of indebtedness. Right suddenly will your creditors arise, and those who remind you will awake, and you will be despoiled by them. Sounds like Jeremiah 30 for the Israelites who read. You know what's going to happen in Jeremiah 30. All they that spoil you will be spoiled. All they that devoured you will be devoured. Every one of your adversaries going into captivity. And he that preyed on you, the Most High is going to give as a prey. Jeremiah 30 for the Israelites that are reading and that actually know the scripture. The heathens are not included. Get them off your panels. They're not an authority. They're not a teacher. They're not a moray. They belong silent with chains around their necks and ankles and arms and stuff. Because you plundered many nations. Who has plundered many nations? The Negro on the corner? The crazy Hebrew Israelite Messianics? Negro Christians? No, you know who it is. And you want that nigger next to you. You want him on your panels. You want to say, he's not bad when the scriptures say he's bad. Habakkuk is telling you that right now. Are you listening? Get out of your Christendom. You have a Christian weak spirit on you. You're not the leaders of Israel. For my subscribers, please do not look towards the Messianic Hebrews as leaders. They're not. They're off into another God, another gospel, another faith. Definitely not the Negro Christians and even some Torah and Tanakh-based Israelites who have that spirit of, I like the heathens. We're not going to oppress the strangers. That type of spirit is not a leader you should be following because they don't follow the scriptures. Because you plunder many nations, all surviving people shall plunder you. Who is Habakkuk talking about? And it's a future prophecy. For crimes against men and wrongs against the land, against cities and all their inhabitants. What apex heathen has done this? You Negroes are not truthful. But here at Hebrew on the Island, I will. I'm just not mentioning their race. Not because I'm not scared. It's because, I have this channel to teach my fellow brethren, my neighbors and brothers, which are only Israelites, Negroes, or the true physical Israelites. So I'm trying to keep my channel on. So I'm not going to just go out because they get offended very easily. And right now, we're still in our curses. They control the kingdom. Not for long, though. You who have acquired gain to the detriment of your own house, who have destroyed many people. Who has destroyed many people? Habakkuk is talking about them, and you want them on your panel. You want them arm in arm and neck with you. Not here at the Hebrew Island, too. I want the heathens or strangers in the barn where they belong and working. That's it. With no voice. Who has destroyed many people in order to set your nest on high, to escape disaster? I know. Do you? You have plotted shame for your own house and guilt for yourself. For a stone shall cry out from the walls, and a rafter shall answer it from the woodwork. You who have built a town with crime and established a city with infamy. Who has done it? The heathens that you want to put in the sanctuary. The heathens that you want to be teaching with you, to share in the promises. But I have bad news for you. The scriptures say they're not. You can wish that they are all you want, but the scriptures say they're not. And I'm going with the scriptures. You should too. Torah and Tanakh-based Israelite. So that peoples have had to toil for fire, and nations to worry themselves for naught. Behold, it is from the Lord of hosts, for the earth shall be filled with awe for the glory of the Lord as water covereth the sea. You who make others drink to intoxication, as you pour out your wrath. Who has poured out the wrath on the nations? Niggas, not truthful. You know who it is. Don't have him in your sanctuary. Don't have him rubbing elbows with you. Don't have him teaching our brothers. They're supposed to be in silent inside the barns as you pour out your wrath in order to gaze upon their nakedness. You shall be sated with shame rather than glory. Drink in your turn and stagger. The cup in the right hand of the Lord shall come around to you, and disgrace to your glory. For the lawlessness against Lebanon shall cover you. The destruction of beasts shall overwhelm you. For crimes against men and wrongs against lands, against cities and all their inhabitants, what has the carved image availed? That he who fashioned it has carved it for an image and a false oracle. That he who fashioned his products hath trusted in it, making dumb idols. Ah, you who say, wake up to the wood, awake to an errant stone. Can that give an oracle? Why? It is encased in gold and silver, but there is no breath inside it. But the Lord in his holy abode, be silent before him, all the earth. You guys are going into the barn, you strangers, you heathen Gentiles. You're not going to sit amongst us. You're not going to teach. You're not going to have no type of authority. You're going in the barn. You're going to be lower than the animals. You're going to be ruled in Psalm 2 like you're given to us as an inheritance. We're getting the uttermost parts of the earth as our possession under King David. You're going to be ruled with a rod of iron and dashed like the potter's vessel. For you Hebrews that don't want it, stand down. Get in the back. We're not following your lead. You're not the leaders of Israel. Hopefully this was edifying to the body of Torah and Tanakh-based Israelites who know their position, who's not going to join themselves arm in arm, neck and neck with the heathens, with the strangers. This is a new Yes from Israel. Hebrew on the Island too. Until next time. Next time.